Show. My name is Deshaun, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever officially wraps up Phase 4. Now, Phase 4 has been, let's just say, controversial. Like, it has been anything between experimental, anything between them trying new things, to people saying that this was a lame phase, that this is proof of the downfall of Marvel, and people can go on and on and on about it. Like I said, a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and this phase it came at a bad time because COVID had happened. COVID had happened right before this phase was supposed to kick off, so everything got shuffled around. So there are half the movies are different than what they would have been if things have gone differently. So there's so much that changed and so many things that happened that had to be reshuffled. There are shows that returned to movies, and there's just so much that happened in this phase. And of course, this phase came off the back of Endgame. This phase came right off the back of Endgame. And this phase had so much going against it. It really did. And Marvel could have, and maybe they should have, hindsight's 2020, considering what happened with the COVID and whatnot. Maybe they should have played it a lot more like the past phases. Because it's ironic is the people complained about the past phases being too similar, being too safe. And I believe personally that the mixed reaction to Phase 4 has been from Marvel attempting stuff, trying stuff. And, sometimes it's more successful than others. Even I have some complaints about some of the films in Phase 4. After all, I didn't give a single one of them a 10. I don't think so anyways. Out of the 8 films that came out in Phase 4, only 3 of them I remember giving even a 9. So, it's not this perfect storm, which I like I say, I feel conflicted about comparing the phases anyways, just because I don't think they're very comparable, because Phase 1 was literally just 4 films, and it was so self-contained and so concentrated, and by the way, it's not like the first Thor and Captain America have these insanely high Rotten Tomato and audience scores. They don't. So, like I say, and people forget about Iron Man 2. People forget that Iron Man 3 didn't have the highest scores and it's a very mixed bag. People forget that Thor: The Dark World was this really bad movie. It's the worst movie in the MCU. People forget these things, and these things get lost into memories. People forget that Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie, is only a 70-something%. Like I said, people have kind of have gotten kind of caught up, that they've kind of just forgotten. People forget that Captain Marvel, even from people who loved it, it wasn't a highly rated movie, even without the people trying to spam the fucking Rotten Tomato score. Captain Marvel's only a 70-something. You know what I mean? So I gotta say, it's easy to forget these things, but it's not like the MCU was perfect and perfect anyways. Now, all their films were fresh, and for the first time ever, this phase had a rotten film in it, but this phase also had the highest rated audience score movie and the highest rated critic project of any superhero project on it. So, for all the downs and all the mixed bags and all the criticisms, this phase had highs. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is gonna make about $800 million. $800 to $900 million. It's not gonna make as much as the first one, but it's gonna make in that same ballpark. This phase was experimental. It was trying shit. And for better or worse, it worked out. Now, I think where this phase shines is on the TV side of things, but I could talk about that at a later date. I think that's where this phase really shines. But either way, I'm going to talk about I'm going to rank the 9 MCU films. The 9 MCU films. At number 9, I have to say, is probably going to be Black Widow. While I enjoyed Black Widow, had a good time with it, I thought it was a solid movie. Nothing special, nothing terrible. It was just solid. I ended up giving it a 7 out of 10, something like that. when I left the theater, I was like, that's like a 7.5 out of 10. I was hoping for more, but what I got was solid. It was a nice little adventure. I hope Yelena gets to be in a sequel film that's a little bit that's a bit better. Like, I thought it was a solid film, but by far I do think it's slightly below another film that's going to come right before this in terms of what it did, because the stakes because the stakes weren't the highest, and while the whole family relationship stuff works and it's at its best when it's doing that, it's also doing a lot of other things. And I was hoping for more, and I was hoping they would do more of the Jason Bourne action sequence-esque stuff. But by the time the movie got to the end, it became like this full-blown superhero movie. And while I didn't have a huge problem with the twist that they did with Taskmaster, I wasn't like losing my mind over like a couple of these other nerd girls, like these nerd fucking dorks were having. I was unsatisfied with the conclusion of the character. I was unsatisfied with that. I was looking for an epic fight, and it was just over in like a second, and I wasn't very satisfied with it. So Black Widow is my number 9 on the Phase 4 chart. Number 8, I would have to say, would have to be Eternals. While, once again, like a Black Widow, I did enjoy Eternals. I enjoyed a lot of the characters. I enjoyed Kingo. I enjoyed a lot of them. And I had a lot of fun. It was great seeing Angelina Jolie. I love Makari, the speedster, and Druid. Like, all these characters, all of them were very three-dimensional and very well executed. Like, there's more to these characters. The problem is that this movie somehow manages to be too long and too short at the same time, which is a rare feat to pull off. It's like being interesting and boring at the same time. While there is a lot here that is great, the problem is that it has too many characters and has too much going on in this 2 hour and like 30 something minute movie. Like 2 hour and like all damn near 40-minute movie. And somehow it manages, and when you think that things are moving too fast, it somehow manages to feel like things are taking too long, because the setup of finding the Eternals and getting them is like, it takes like an hour and 30 minutes for all that to come together before the plot actually completely starts moving forward. Eternals suffers because it should have been a show. And I said that when I made my review of Eternals. Eternals should have been a show. It should have been like a 4-part show, something like that. Minimize the budget. But it should have been more than this 3-hour thing. It should have been a show. And that's what I think. Because, like I say, it ended up, because either it should have been a show, or they should have cut down the characters so that they could bring it together and and pick up the pace. Because by the time that movie had ended, I was exhausted. I was like, God, I had noticed the time I was there. But I love the scale. It had great acting. I love the Shakespearean thing they were going for, the big head thing. And I think that, no one talks about this. I think Eternal has some of the best CGI in the MCU. Following up at my number 7 movie, I would have to say, toss up between these two. I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Now, I had a blast with this film. I did. I had a blast with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I really did. But admittedly, I'm wide open enough to say that the movie needed more time. It was moving at an insanely fast pace. Like, it didn't give anything enough outside of Doctor Strange's arc of not having to hold the knife, of letting people in, of being okay with someone else being okay with not carrying the burden of the world, of being okay with that. Outside of his arc, everything else was just done so freaking fast. Wanda's arc, even though it was a good arc and I liked her in the film, it was done so fast. The American Chavez, her stuff was done so fast. It was like the movie was moving at a breakneck speed with material that needed more time. And since it was moving at that speed, even though I had a lot of fun with the movie, I gotta tell you, I wish it could have been structured better. It could have been done better. Though, the directing from Sam Raimi was so unique and so fun, and it was such a different thing. And they let Sam Raimi make a PG-13 horror movie. Some of the stuff done with the CGI was great. Some of the practical effects was so cool. Seeing the Illuminati was cool. All that stuff. Some of his spells were cool. Wanda was like a creature out of a horror movie, and everything about her was cool. The whole movie, to me, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, was a blast. But it wasn't as great as I hoped, as me and many others hoped. It wasn't as well done. It needed more time to breathe, and it was the opposite of Eternals. Eternals, I felt my ass when it was at the end. Doctor Strange, I was like, I need more. I need you guys to elaborate on more things. So Doctor Strange is number 7. At number 6, Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor: Love and Thunder, baby. Thor: Love and Thunder. I had a blast with Thor: Love and Thunder. I really, 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 really did. Thor: Love and Thunder, to me, was everything I was hoping it would be. It was everything I was hoping it would be. Wait, did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think I did. But Thor: Love and Thunder was amazing. Thor: Love and Thunder was everything I was hoping it was gonna be. Okay, maybe it wasn't everything I was hoping it was gonna be. Maybe it was slightly not as great. It was one of those things. It was like, Thor: Love and Thunder, to me, was like John Wick 2 and 3. Where, on some level, like, I'm like, yeah, man, this is like, it's the same. It's the same quality, but it's like, I've seen it, like, done already. Like, the novelty of seeing Taika Waititi take these risks with the character is gone. So, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Appealing as it once was. But to me, I love the story. I love what they're doing. I do wish, like Doctor Strange, I do wish they had more time. They wish they had more time to give the Valkyrie. I wish they had more time to give the Jane. I wish they had more time to give the Gore. Those 3 characters needed like 10, 12 more minutes of screen time to really get into those characters, to really flush out the story. The movie, to me, I think Thor: Love and Thunder probably should have been about a 2-hour and like 25-minute movie. I think it could have been, the actual story they were telling had enough meat on it to be as long as like Wakanda Forever, and they told it in like minus the 40 minutes. So to me personally, I think Thor: Love and Thunder was fun as hell. I think it was a great sequel to Thor Ragnarok. I do admit that it needed more time to breathe, and the novelty of Ragnarok isn't there. The shock and the novelty is gone, because you're expecting it now, and Taika decides to just turn it up. And if you're into it, you're into it. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's what Thor: Love and Thunder is. It's Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Because Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is just one turned up. This is just Thor Ragnarok turned up. And if you were into Thor Ragnarok, I don't know how you wouldn't be into this. Coming in at number 5. I hope my numbering is correct. You guys let me know in the comment section. I got to go with. At this point, we're in the like real good shit. I gotta go with I gotta go with Werewolf by Night. Yes, Werewolf by Night does count as a Marvel film. So interesting, so well done, so well acted. Stuff. I think I gave it a 10. Actually, I think I did give Werewolf by Night a 10 out of 10. A character that you never would have seen. I mean, Man-Thing. I mean, there's so much about this. The black and white, the old school Universal monster feel. I mean, it was so much in this 40-minute bite-sized film that was everything. It set the bar very high for specials to come, and I absolutely loved it. Coming in at number 4, we got Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was amazing. I love that movie. It's one of the only Marvel movies. It's probably the only movie of Phase 4 that I've watched at home. You know, like, I've watched the other ones at theaters a couple times, but that's the only one that I was into so much. I was like, I'm gonna watch this at home. Like, Shang-Chi is such a cool character, such great choreography, so many fun characters. An awesome fight sequences. I mean, that whole movie to me was dope as hell. Love Shang-Chi. Great kung fu. Shang-Chi is my number 4. At number 3, I got to go with... Give me a second. Man, like, this is, it's a tough list, man. It's a tough list to make. Actually, I think I am off. I think there's only 2 films left. I think I numbered it wrong. But either way, I'm going to say number 2. At number 2, Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home was amazing. It was awesome. It was fantastic. It was Tom Holland's best performance as Spider-Man to date. His acting was amazing. It had some emotion and one of the most saddest emotional scenes in the entirety of the MCU that you did not see coming. It fulfilled dreams with seeing Toby and Andrew. Honestly, I wasn't even the hugest fan of Andrew, but after watching the film, I was like, holy shit, Andrew. Like, I mean, seeing all these villains, seeing all these things. I mean, it was such a fun ride of a movie. It really was. It was a fun ride of a movie. I had a great time. I had a very unique and different ending for MCU films. Like, I mean, it was a depressing ending. I mean, I could only think of, like, Endgame. Like, I can only think of, like, Endgame and Infinity War having an ending as bitter as this one did. Like, Spider-Man No Way Home was definitely one of the best films. It's one of the best MCU films. And to be clear, in my opinion, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, and the movie that I have at number 1 being Black Panther Wakanda Forever are all some of the best MCU films. I loved Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and that's why it's my number 1. It had some things in it that weren't perfect, but I don't think any film is perfect. I don't think Endgame's perfect. I don't think Winter Soldier's perfect. I don't think Ragnarok's perfect. That's why I rarely give anything a 10. But my goodness, the emotions, the action, the characters, it was just like, it was another one of those films, like, sure, could you have cut out certain characters? Sure. But they didn't, to me, I know some people complaining about Everett Ross and Ironheart. Sure, could you have cut them out? Sure. But their scenes didn't detract from the movie, you know what I mean? It didn't hurt the movie experience for me. I still thought that they served something in the film, and overall, I just thought it was an amazing film. I really did. Honestly, it was a coin flip between this and Spider-Man for me, and Shang-Chi. Like, I think those 3 are some of the best ones. Those are Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and even Werewolf by Night. You know, it's a small little special, but I think those are the films out of 9, I think 9 anyways, out of 9 Marvel projects, those are the films that really stick out. And, like, those are the films that are proof that, no, the MCU has not fallen off. You look at those audience score on those films, you look at the critic scores on those films, and you know that, no, the MCU is just, maybe the MCU's done having nothing but straight, you know, like, hit. Maybe they'll have hit, but they're not done. Like that's the thing that baffles me. It's like, no, if you want to look at it from a microscope, if you want to look at it with your, you know, biased perspective, sure, it looks like it. But when you really take a step back and look at the scores and look at the money, you really realize that the MCU still has it. It's just they experimented this year, and certain things worked out, certain things not. It's not a coincidence that some of the movies they really tried some shit with are in the back of my list, except for Werewolf by Night. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Guy Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and rank the MCU Phase 4 movies. Ranking was all off. I shouldn't have put a number on it at all because I ended up fucking up the number, but I did end up ranking all the movies. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Guy Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.